In this video, we look at a silver Moira player that has a couple bad habits that need addressing. I hope you guys enjoy. Low ground Moira is a bit sus. Alright, so a couple things. Low ground Moira is a bit sus, and two, why are we not setting up our aim for the damage orb already? Like, you have plenty of time to set up. This should already be set up. You shouldn't be, like, now getting ready to set it up. It should already be like you're going to throw the orb and you already are prepared to throw the orb. Alright, so wasting Fade. Don't know why you needed to use Fade there or felt like you needed to use Fade. You didn't, but you used it anyways. You're using Fade and people are going to recognize that you're using Fade and then you're going to get punished because you've used Fade. This is like foreshadowing. Right, because even there, we already got to 90 health just because we didn't have Fade when Ram was on top of us. Positioning can be a little better too. Right now you're standing out in the open. It's going to be very easy for you to get shot. You just faded into the same spot, and I don't know if it really took you into a better position. Yeah, we're backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Backing the hell out of there. Here you guys are constantly backing up. I don't know why you decided to stand out in the open when you easily could have stood over here and then maybe even snuck around here to apply it, you know, a solo damage orb on the Widow or something, and then eventually get back to your fade out. But you're standing very much out in the open, taking a lot of shots that you don't need to. Like even here, you're at 86 health, and you decide, I'm going to decide to peek this into 5 guys, when you could have just, like, hugged over here, and maybe only Viana sees you. And then you can fade, and you get back up here, and then you can, like, play up here, throw a damage orb down here, but standing out in the open like this is asking yourself to get shot at. And because you're a support player, you're going to get shot at a lot. Heal? Heal your team? Alright, so Moira has this thing. Obviously, your team hasn't been shot yet, but Moira has a thing called pre-healing. Basically, it just means that if you spray your teammates with your healing, it's going to heal them like 70 healing per second over 3 seconds or something like that. You keep on hitting the, you know, the healing on them. They're going to heal over time while you're doing the damage that you want to be doing. So you just want to make sure you're doing that even if your teammates are full health. Just give them like a little love tap. Like you don't have to hold it down. You just tap it. And then here you apply damage. And then for some reason, it takes you a while to realize that you're in the audio. You can hear the Sojourn is screaming in pain. So that should be a sound cue that your Sojourn is taking damage and she needs healed. So now would be a time that you can look over, realize that she's low, because she is low, and then spray her. I think you can actually heal her from where you're standing, to be honest. Your healing goes pretty far, so you don't have to be, like, right next to them. But then you, like, for some reason, it doesn't phase you that they're critical, so you're like, I'm gonna shoot some damage, and then now we're healing. Yeah. Not the worst. I think we could have been a little bit cleaner with you know, getting those last few kills. And then if we definitely didn't get punched twice by the Ram, I don't think Hanzo would have killed us there. I don't think Sojourn needed the healing. I think Sojourn got low because of the lack of healing initially. So I think the damage orb is fine. I just don't think like, we should be pre-healing here. You see how our team is slowly taking poke damage? These guys should all get healing before the fight starts. Like, you should at least tap them all with pre-healing before anything happens. That way the soldier won't be this low. He'll already still be at full health, taking just a little bit of chip damage. But we're not doing that. which makes it so that, you know, these guys are getting very low already. Like, there's a lack of healing going on. You don't have to be healing constantly. Like, I like this damage, but you should notice that, like, your Sigma dies because we stopped healing him, and we're not applying any pre-healing, so even our Sojourn and our Illari are low, because we're relying on just our Illari to keep everyone alive here, when there should be at least some kind of healing that we're doing. And then you faded into the enemy team, so we don't have fade, and because we don't have fade, the Nano Hanzo headshots us. So they end up winning that fight anyways. Also, something that's important, Moira builds more ult charge based off of healing people. So you want to make sure you're healing your team a lot more too. That's just going to give you more coalescences, and then with our coalescences, we can win team fights. The reason our coalescence building is slow is because we're just refusing to heal people, even the Sigma that just took damage. Like, I don't know why we're neglecting healing, you know? You can throw a damage orb too if you wanted to. Like, I'd probably be spending this free time to throw a damage orb at spawn just to get myself some more ult charge. You don't want to frontline Moira. Frontline Moira is not the best. And then, clearly this is a fade issue. You use fade here for no reason at all. That fade was pointless. You want fade to basically do a couple things for you. One, dodge abilities, right? So if, like, a Hog's going to hook you, you want to fade it. If a, you know, Genji's gonna hit you, you want to fade it. If a Shatter's gonna hit, fade it. If a Diva Bomb's gonna hit, fade it. So that's the first thing. But two, it also repositions you, right? Gets you to safer spots or gets you over to your team, right? So those are the two things. Ideally, you want to use your fade to accomplish both of those things. If you're using it just for one or just for another thing, chances are you're wasting your fade and you're going to get punished for it, right? Because if I'm using my fade to reposition myself, that means that I'm not dodging an ability with it, so I'll still get hit by that hook, that shatter, you know, whatever ability that I was supposed to dodge with now can hit me. And then if you're using it not to reposition yourself but just to dodge, well then they can still follow up with, you know, whatever damage they need to attack you. So here you used it to kind of reposition even though you weren't taking any damage. And now, because of you decided to do that, the Hanzo just decides to pop his ultimate. You don't have fade, so you walk straight back into a dragon and you die. Pretty sure jumping at the end of fade makes her move a little bit farther just because of momentum as well as being in the air. For some reason, being airborne with momentum makes it so you have less friction against the ground, so you fly farther. And then, yeah, we couldn't get a touch. Frontlining is Moira. Not healing enough. Waste of a heal orb. You can tell that heal orb got absolutely no value, especially because your tank was already healed. Now, if we had a couple of our teammates that were injured, I'd throw a healing orb then. But you didn't need the heal orb, right? You probably should have sent a damage orb so you can build this coalescence, and then next time you get an orb, throw the damage and then throw co. Again, you kind of used your fade pretty aggressively here, so... Coalescence tip, if you use your damage orb, it does 50 damage a second, and then if you use Coalescence, it does 70 damage a second, so throwing both at the same time. If your damage orb is, you know, well aimed, you can do 120 damage per second against someone, which can really burst people down. And then, like, if you're just using Coalescence, you're only doing 70 damage a second, which is like one Ana shot. Ana can literally just negate your ultimate if you're shooting one person with it. But you can see you're doing, like, no damage here, and that's because you don't have a damage orb going with you. And there's the damage orb now. You could heal your team here just a little bit. Just a little spray will do it. Doing a little TikTok Moira stuff here. I could cancel. Ooh, very aggressive fade. A better Ana probably would sleep you already. But because she's not a good Ana, she, you know, she fails to sleep you. Good dodge. I don't know why you're dodging into the enemy team. I don't know why the Moira decided to just ignore you. These plays are sus. Shouldn't have worked. Surprised it did. Yeah, again, jumping out of your thing will make you fly a little bit farther. Can help you gain some distance on people. Heal your Sigma? Hello? Your Sigma just died to a Mei because he's not getting heals? Your team is literally all dying because you're not healing him. Like, you guys literally... Here. Another thing, low lobby people don't really look at the kill feed enough. Like, they don't look up at the top right-hand corner enough. So you should be watching this, and you should be able to see that you're going. And Sigma just died. Moira just died. And because 2 people are dead, that's a 5v3. So if you literally just keep your team alive, your team will win this fight no matter what. Chances of a team coming back from a 3v5 is pretty slim. So instead of you just damaging people, now you should be focusing on just keeping your team alive, healing them, and then maybe once your team's good to go, now you can get some kills, right? But because you don't do that, your Sigma dies. Moira gets res, so now it's a 4v4. You die, so now it's a 4v3, and the enemy team gets to push in. They probably end up getting another person. Actually, Soldier gets the Mei, but then they get the Soldier, and now you guys are struggling to come back from spawn on a team that's on a, you know, it's like a 2v1 now. And this is all because you just chose not to heal your Sigma when you needed to. And now we're healing. Same deal. You had 2 seconds till you had orb. Just wait until you get the orb. Throw the orb and then go. You're going to be doing a lot more burst. Instead, you're going to do barely any damage. Bad orb placement. Really doesn't get much out of that. You want your orb to try and get all of the 200 damage it's going to do out. And a good way of doing that is thinking about what walls it's going to hit. Throwing it potentially at the floor since the diagonal is farther. There you had fade, but you decided not to use your fade. Yeah. So in general, what I'm seeing in this first round is we are lacking on our fade usage. You're using that way too much, and you need to be thinking about when to use it a lot more. We're damaging way too much. We need to be healing at least a little bit. I'm not saying go completely heal bot, but your team is constantly getting into these scrappy fights because you're just not healing your team. Comboing the Coalescence with the orb is going to help. Yeah, probably trigonometry with those damage orbs just to have your damage orbs get a little bit more value.
If anybody asks.